And there was that time I got stopped doing 89 in a 45. Ouch. Welcome back, everybody. El Presidente with you here once again with another video. This one a little bit more lighthearted, I guess, than the last couple that I posted. And it's a true story. And got lots of funny memes at the end of the video, so make sure you stick around for those. As I always put some good memes, and these I was cracking up as I was as I was picking them out. So I think you'll really like them. So check it out. This is a story about being pulled over, doing 89 in a 45, and what happened with that. And this video is brought to you by Copico Blanca. So creamy. Also, this video was inspired by Sabrina Jean, and I want to thank you for that, bringing that memory back to my brain. Brain's kind of fuzzy, especially with anything that is more than 10 yesterday. So thank you, Sabrina Jean. Check out her channel if y'all are interested at all in numerology or just intuitive insights. Check out her channel. I'll put a link in the description box for it. You'll be surprised. Anyhow, this story starts back in the early 90s. I had a 1985 Camaro, and it looked something like this. And it was a good car to start with, but of course I wanted to make it more powerful. I wanted it to wake everybody up in the neighborhood when you turn that engine, you know, that type of sound that just was I think it was Greaseman that said that makes a sound that makes the whole Persian Gulf stand up and cheer. Well, I wanted something like that. So when I first bought it, it was good to begin with. It had a 305 regular transmission in it, and just your kind of regular stock. I know in the picture, I think it shows an IROC Z. Mine was not the IROC Z. It was just the regular package. It had the T-tops, which I thought was really cool, and things like that. So my friend Johnny and we went through and put a bigger engine in it, put a 350 in it, put a new suspension, and put hauling on it, and put headers, and took out the catalytic. Actually, I think we just hammered through it and made it straight through the catalytic converter, and put this big old, it was a muffler, but this pipe was so big, it sounded like it didn't have a muffler. It was just really rumble that it had in it. And also had this turbo transmission put in it too, and increased suspension, all this stuff. It was a money pit from hell. Let's put it that way. It was a money pit from hell, but I was making good cash at the time, so why not? Yeah. So during this time, a friend was getting married, and by the way, I was living in San Antonio at the time. We were all living in San Antonio. My friend was getting married, and he was getting married at his fiance's town, which was a little podunk town in Missouri, or Missouri, like they say over there. And I figured out, why not test out this car by driving it over to Missouri from San Antonio. Now, I don't remember the name of the town, but it was small town, where everybody knows everybody. So sure enough, I drove up to Missouri, and the transmission just had been changed out. So I was still doing some adjustments in it, could not get it exactly right because I had to get the RPMs up so high for it to be able to switch to second and third, but mainly into second, getting it into second. So on the way up there, I'm experimenting with it and stop and check it out and do things like that. I used to love to tinker with the car, which is a good thing because when you have a car like that, you're gonna tinker with it constantly. And as I said, it was a money pit. It was a fun money pit, but it was still a money pit. So I get up to this town. Just a background: when I bought the car in Florida, I was military, so I was in San Antonio, had a Texas driver's license. Didn't have to change the plates or anything because you're military. In military, they just kind of waive that because you move around so much. Anyhow, so up in Missouri and get there a couple of days before the wedding, like 2 or 3 days before the wedding, and it's still kind of chilly, still kind of cold during that time. We end up staying. It's myself, the best man, the groom, and I want to say one other person, but I don't quite remember. There was at least 3 of us staying over at the house of the bride to be. So kind of in hindsight, wondering, have all these these guys just crashing out over at the bride's house, and with her family. It's that type of hospitality, and it was fun. So we're there with her parents. It's her parents, her, and 3 military dudes, or 3 or 4 military dudes, just kind of crashing out there. So while we're going to rehearsal and doing all this stuff, I'm driving the car, and it's just not right. I know something that is jacked up with it. So I drive it, put it up on those drive up. I forget what they call them. Like, they're not jacks, but you drive up on it to lift the car and then get under the car, do some adjustments, stuff like that. Then I would take it out. So in the downtime between the rehearsal dinner and doing all that and the actual wedding, this is when I'm doing all this. And so I would do an adjustment, take it down the road, test it. No, still not working right. Turn around, come back. And so I'm doing this a few times. Well, one time I adjusted it and took it around, and I actually made it worse. Imagine that. So I'm trying hard to get it to shift into second gear, and the RPMs are way up there. My speed is way up there, and I'm still trying. I'm not really paying attention to the speed. That speedometer only went up to 85. It was pegged, but I'm trying to get it, and I'm looking and I'm feeling it, and I was like, damn, why isn't this shift? Well, sure enough, local deputy sheriff pulls me over, and he comes over. He said, you know how fast you're going? I said, no idea. He said, you're doing 89 in a 45. And I was like, damn. And so all of a sudden, I'm impressed. I'm like, holy moly, I'm doing 89 and I haven't even shifted into second yet. And I said that out loud. And he's like, what? I said, yeah, I got a problem with my transmission. I said, I've been working on it. I'm trying to get it so it's shift, and when you pulled me over, it hadn't shifted into second yet. And he's looking at me like I'm out of my mind. And I get it. So he asked me, he was a little upset, to say the least. And I understand. So I give him my driver's license, which is from Texas, and insurance, and I give him my military ID. I'm in Missouri. The plates are from Florida. He's looking at all this stuff, and he takes it back to the car, and he calls it in because he didn't have a computer in the car like they do these days. He had to call in the dispatch and all that, and ran my name. And so he comes back and he says, this is just a mess. And for him, especially if he has to write write a report and give me that. And so he asked me what am I doing there. I said, what are you doing here? I said, you don't live here. And I'm like, no, I don't live here. I live in San Antonio. He's like, what are you doing here? I said, I'm here for a friend's wedding. He's like, really? He said, who is it? And then I tell him the name of the bride, and I said, you know, we're just staying down the road, and we're staying with her mom and dad, and you know, her dad's really cool and all that. And he's like, really? So what's her dad's name? And I couldn't remember his name. I could just remember his nickname, and his nickname was Booger. Rest in peace. And I told him, yeah, well, you know, we're here. I'm here with Booger. He's like, oh, you know him? I'm like, yeah, we're here for his daughter's wedding. So he looks at me and hands me everything back, and gives me a warning. He says, you need to take this over to the transmission shop, and it will open up. I don't remember. I'm not sure the day it was. I think it was already late on a Friday or something. They were getting married on Saturday. I don't quite remember. He said, I don't want to. If I have to stop you again, then you know I'm impounding the car. All these big consequences. And you know, I said, I'm just trying to say honestly, I'm just trying to get my car to ship the right way. So he hands me all that. I go back and I pull it up on that again. I'm like, damn it, man. So I readjust it. And as I'm doing that, I see this vacuum line that apparently Johnny and I missed when we put that transmission in. And I connect the vacuum line up, and beautiful. Car ships as it should. And I'm like, whew. Because I needed to get back to San Antonio. But he didn't give me a ticket. And I think it was because there was just so much, you know, the car from Florida, the driver and license from Texas, they're in Podunk, small town, Missouri. He just didn't want to have to deal with all that. So he let me go with a warning. And, you know, I appreciated it because I was honestly just trying to work on the car. But as I was going back and forth, after I had fixed it and I was just making sure it was shifting right, somebody stops me, and they said, you keep coming down, up and down, tearing up and down is what he was saying. You keep tearing up and down this road. Said, if you do that again, I'm going to call the cops. And I said, oh yeah, the sheriff's deputy that's right up the wing. He's like, yeah. Like, yeah, I've talked to him already. And he didn't know what to say after that. He was just like, I don't want you tearing through here. You know, you observed the speed limit. And then he left. But all in all, it turned out great. It was a fun time. Drive back was fantastic because the car was just acting the way it should, and used less gas too. But that is the story. I don't know. It was fun times, different stuff. I would show you a video of the car driving down, but when my friend Rick took the video, I guess he wasn't prepared for me driving so fast because all he did was get the treetops and the sky. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The memes are up next. And until the next video, thank you.